basically, Nigerians or journalists, my colleagues, must always, at all times, verify stories, and also, as a way to verify, you should also be able to use some logical sense. When we see videos and audios or reports flying in the social media space, don't forget that we're in an era where fake news is abound. Fake news are abound all over the place. So all you need to find out and ask who is reporting it. Why is it that it is some remote individual or some remote news medium or blogger who is reporting this? And you should also be very careful. There are some kind of indicators, like one that we saw in Lagos over the Lekki shootings, were the use of two keywords, massacre and genocide. As a journalist, you should be able to know that genocide is basically mass killings of of people on account of their race, religion, gender, political leaning, and the likes. So, using the word genocide when it's not genocide is far from it. And massacre is also mass killings. And because for some people who went dead the next morning, and even when you kill a chicken or a goat in your festive period in Nigeria, you can see what mess the blood will make on your floor, let alone when you go to a place that has been described as a ground of massacre. So that off the top of your head will give you an indication that this is not a massacre. Then you start to now, put it, on a scale while you wait for families, friends. We live in a communal environment where family, friends, relatives will come up to say ABC has happened to the loved ones. So basically, use of words, basically rushing, to the press when you haven't actually done due diligence. These are some of the things that have put people in trouble and misled a lot of people into believing that thing had happened. Don't forget that we must also remember Rwanda, how they specifically set up a radio station, by the Hutus to carry out genocide against the Tutsis. So the power of the press, of the media, is very, very key here. We must know how well to use it, because any slight mistake in the use of that power just might put a country, a nation, or the world in chaos. As I said, once I went back to write, I used the word unperturbed. I'm really not disturbed. I take care of my mental health, and one of the things I do is try as much as possible to create a buffer. And the buffer might be not even reading some of those things. Even when I stumble on them, I just come on. Many of them have actually gone ahead to, delete some of those things, some threats, some curse words, and a whole lot there. But it's just a matter of time. Now, a lot of people have come up and say, wait a minute, he said ABC. Now we just realize that these things have come to be true. It's so simple, it's so simplistic, to the extent that some colleagues in the profession and some others wouldn't see it that way. So I say for people who are in the profession, or people who are in the art of fact checking like myself, the entire world might be wrong and you're the only one right. Don't go with the bandwagon. Remember, at a point in time, the entire world thought that the earth was flat. So they feared to travel too far until a man came and said, no, the world is spherical in shape. We can't go to the extreme and fall off. So I don't go with the majority. I go with what is right and what is true. That's by my calling. So for those who are following in that step, I think they are the builders of our world. I thought that was too quick, and the timing was wrong. We're not saying the NBC is out of order, but we're saying the timing is really, really inappropriate, knowing full well that everywhere is tense, and Nigerians and Nigeria will not spare the NBC for that. I thought by now the NBC should have revoked that, and say it's not too late in the day to say, we have listened to Nigerians, you guys are forgiven, but you've been warned. Because if you look at that release, on one hand, they're getting praises saying, well done for the handling of COVID-19. On the other hand, you're saying, no, you didn't do this pretty well. We must be very careful. Otherwise, Nigerians and the world will see these as gagging the press. I still think a day will come where we'll have, a rethink of such, actions by the NBC. We're waiting for the professor, Professor Itachaba and his team, to revisit that and look, because we are in a democracy. For the majority of the people are saying, hey, wait a minute, in the process of healing, seeking justice, seeking closure to what we have experienced, in the past days, NBC has forgiven you. I think people will see NBC as a democratic institution or regulator in today's Nigeria.